Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get it. Let's go. I promise you, man, Sean looked me in my eyeballs, paused, and said, man, Weezy, look, it's the first time for everything. I was like, man, look, bro, you say that? I was like, but nah, look, though, on some real stuff, though. I was like, look, I said, you know, I know you. I trust you, bro. Out of everybody, I said, bro, I trust you, bro. Me and you done a lot of business, Sean. I said, but look, I do need to know how this stuff is, though. You know what I mean? I said, you sure you mess with it? He was like, yeah. He said, nobody know my business. I said, what you be doing? You put it in the la-la? He said, nah. I said, so what you do then? He was like, I mean, I gotta make something up. I just make something real quick, you know, make a little hitter real fast, nice little hitter. I'm like, the more and more he started talking, his lips started, a little hitter. He started looking like a pluck in the face. I'm like, he is a freaking fiend on the low. I'm like, damn, bro. I was like, yo, that's crazy, man. I was like, bro, you talk about a functioning fiend. I was like, bro, you don't look like you mess with that. He was like, man, go ahead, Weezy, I ain't no fiend, Weezy. He tried to throw a jab. I weed that John. Like, we better chill out, man. What the hell wrong with you? I was like, you better chill out. You want this free jump, don't you? And he was like, man, look, this is what I'm saying, though. Look, we got to make a deal right now. We got to make a deal because I got to get paid for what I'm going to do. I said, what you going to do? He said, look, this is what I'm going to do. He said, I'm going to get something from you. I'm going to go in there and tell him it ain't no la-la on the compound. I said, man, you going to tell the man ain't no la-la on the compound? Man, he said, I'm going to tell him ain't no la-la on the compound. He said, then I'm going to make my joint up. He said, then I'm going to tell him that you told me you wanted me to try. I said, bro, don't put my name in nothing yet, bro. Don't tell him I told you to do anything. I said, just tell him you about to try something. He said, man, he going to want to know who it from, Weezy. I said, man, that man ain't going to ask all them questions. He said, he going to be the one spending the money. I said, you don't even know if he going to try it. He was like, man, look, I'm going to do it in front of him. He said, now, on the street when I used to do it, in front of people, that will always make them want to do it. So y'all think that the smell nasty and y'all can't deal with the smell. He said, some people, they like to mess, they like to go all the way up. Man, like the smell or the fumes, man, it be intriguing. It makes somebody want to try it more. So he said, I'm going to just try it in there because I'm sure it's going to stink in penitentiary. I'm like, man, he was an evil genius, man. I was like, but look, do you, bro? I was like, here. I gave him like a 50 block. Now, I had a lot of it. But like, I'm not, and I don't want y'all to think I'm into like trying to turn people out to stuff. But this is his plan. I'm just a hustler in prison trying to survive. Like, I know it's harsh. I know a lot of people gonna judge me, man. But at the end of the day, man, I gotta survive in that junk, y'all. So boom. So don't judge me, man. Please don't judge me. Please don't judge me, man. I have to live in this place, man. So the way this thing is going, I have to play it out the way it's going. So I gave him a nice little 50 block, a street 50 block. I gave him a nice little 50 block for they could really party just in case he does like it. Now, I'm betting that he wasn't going to like it. That was my bet on the whole joint. Like, I was telling myself, he's not going to like it. There's no way he's going to do this stuff. He's not going to. It's impossible. He's not going to do it. It's not going to happen. But nevertheless, I gave it to bro, man, just try to see what happened. So I got that, man. I told myself I wasn't going to make no noise. I wasn't going to bag nothing up. I wasn't going to try to holler at my homeboys, let people know the count, because I'm pretty sure at this particular moment, I have more Hottie's chicken than anybody in the building at this particular moment right now. You know what I mean? But like, not on it like I'm trying to shine on people, but like Hottie's chicken come around different. It don't come around like how the Lala always around. The Hottie's chicken come through that VI or maybe through a police every now and then. You know what I mean? So that's how the Hottie's chicken come through. So I know I got more than anybody, and I don't even think nobody has none at this particular moment. So I'm gonna just be cool. I ain't gonna try to put everybody on or what I got going on. I'm just gonna chill. So I went back in the cell, relaxed, didn't make no noise. I was just waiting to see what bro was gonna say, what the outcome was. So he ain't do nothing the whole time. We was out the wreck the rest of the time. So when we locked down, I guess that's when he was gonna do it. So I was like, all right. So we coming back out again for one more wreck. You know what I mean? We come back out for the last night wreck. So I was like, I'm gonna see bro when we come back out. You know what I mean? So when they finally let us out to come back out, I see bro. You know what I mean? But I was trying to, I had to come out my cell, come down the steps. And when I first came down the steps, I looked in the cell. It looked like Mars. That joint was, yeah, every window covered. It didn't look like the TV was on in that joint. That joint was super dark. That joint looked like Mars in that joint. I was like, because as soon as I come down the steps, all I gotta do is look like this and I can look right in his cell. 15, 16, all them joints is right there. I'm like, I look, I don't see him. You know what I mean? It's just dark. So I come down, I walk over to by the phones. I asked dude who had next on the water heater joint, let me get after you. So I'm standing by the phones, slightly by the TV a little bit, but I'm right there. I'm watching 17 though. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm watching 17. I'm like, I seen Sean come out first. You know what I mean? But the way he came out was crazy. Sean came out, he was like, he walked out, he was like, I'm looking like, fuck Sean. I was like, why Sean looking around like that? He was like, started looking at somebody, talking to somebody. He was like, yeah. Then I look, I see the white dude come out. I'm like, white dude just got up here. He come out. Man, just sat down at the bench. She was like, that man pulled out a skateboard magazine. I was like, man, start looking at the book. I'm watching both of them on purpose. I have to, because I gave up the work. I'm trying to see what the side effects is. I'm looking. Dude got the magazine. He like, after about 3 pages of the magazine, he say, I said, yeah. I said, that's the one. So boom. I say, hey, Sean. Party over with. Come here, bro. Yeah, just like you be on my top. Hey! Yeah, he think he gonna chill and enjoy this buzz and try to, nah, let's get down to business. I'm like, hey, Sean. It's like he be down on my top when I come in through the building and all that. You know, I got it. He was like, what's up? Hey, come here, man. He walked over there. I was like, what's up? That John good? He was like, yeah, it's good. We said, man, it's good. I said, look, yo, Sully mess with it? He was like, yeah, his name Ryan. I was like, his name Ryan? He was like, yeah. I was like, did Ryan mess with it? He was like, he tried it. He tried it. I was like, he like it? He was like, psst, I told you it was the first time for everything. Of course he like it, Weezy. Of course he like it, man. Yeah. I was like, I mean, he don't look like he like it. He just sitting there looking crazy as hell. He said, that's his first time. You got to understand. He ain't going to be like really, he got, bro, that junk good. So it's going to sit him down a little bit. I said, how you get him to try? I said, you forced it on him? I said, because I don't want nothing to do with it if you forced it, bro. He was like, nah, I ain't forced it on him. I ain't forced it on him. Nah. I said, so what you do then? He was like, man, I told you what I was going to do, man. Why you keep trying to make me talk? As he started to say that, I started seeing his jaw like, why you keep trying to make me talk? Like his jaw started like it was like he was like, you know when people talk, like I'm talking loud, like it was like his jaw was moving the whole time he was talking. Pause. Like he was like, yeah, why you keep trying to get me to talk? Man, look, I just let him, he smelt it. I asked him, did he want to hit it? He was like, man, I never tried that, man. He was like, man, he called it crank. I was like, man, this ain't no crank. He's like, man, I told him this is Hardy's chicken. This ain't no crank. He was like, I thought it was crank. I said, so what? He just grabbed it. He said, no, I passed it to him. I said, what happened when you passed it to him? He said, he went up, Scotty. I said, man, I said, just like that, huh? He said, yeah. I said, man, so look, what's the plan? He said, look, let it kick in. Let me, if he might don't like it. He said, I said, man, let me find out you just used me for my 50 block. You little sneaky little dude. So boom. I had to scare him a little bit. I was joking though. He was like, man, go ahead, Weezy, man. No, bro. Whoa, like that, bro. Just give me a little bit of time, bro, to the morning, bro. He was like, we still got a piece of the joint you gave me. He's like, you gave me a nice piece, Weezy. I'm like, all right, man. Like, just holler at me in the morning then, man. You know what I mean? He was like, look, I got this. You just be ready. I said, man, look, man, I'm always ready, bro. You ain't got to worry about that, man. You ain't got to worry about that, man. That's what you ain't got to worry about. He was like, all right. So he dipped. I just went on and let him enjoy his buzz. I fell back. I still ain't alert nobody that I had the Hardy's chicken. Like, he told me it was a missile game. And I already know bro wasn't going to send me no doodle anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, I was just still chilling with the joint, like, for I can just see, just in case, like, I try to hustle in secret, y'all. Like, sometimes when you in a rush to try to get rid of the package or try to do this and do that, you know what I mean? Something to go wrong. So, like, I'm trying to keep everything like quiet because I'm not in a rush to get this money. I want the money, but I'm not in a rush to get this money because if bro come back saying that Ryan want to buy a lot of this stuff, I am on deck, y'all. So boom. So that's the major play. That's the power play. You hear me? Not the major play. That's the power play right there. So I'm being patient. I'm chilling. We locked down. I went to sleep good because I already know the next day I'm gonna wake up. It's gonna be money. I'm gonna be getting ready to touch some money. You know what I mean? So I'm just being patient. We get up for breakfast. My word, get up, go to breakfast. I look. As I'm leaving out, I look back to see where bro was at, but they door already closed. Like they told the CO, the booth, they closed 17. They didn't even come to breakfast. You hear me? Man, these people did not even come to breakfast, man. They was litty. They had to be litty because they didn't come to breakfast. So I ain't noticing. I'm like, man, Sean ain't come to breakfast. Sean didn't come to breakfast. I don't see him or the white dude, Ryan. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, it's crazy. So we come back from breakfast, we locked down. Didn't say nothing, you know what I mean? We come back out for the first wreck. Stand by for outside wreck. So I'm like, man, like for real though, I was like, it's time to bubble. It's time to get some money, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is, man. I'm like, man, shh. I'm like, man, this dude still asleep. This man still was knocked out. I promise you, man. Him and white dude was still knocked out. I thought it was done. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, that's why I went outside. So when I go outside, I'm out there. I holler at my homeboy, man. I holler at my homeboy that's in 4D. I was in 4C. I holler at my other homeboy that's in 4D. I let him know, like, look, bro. I was like, look, man. I said, bro, listen, bro. I said, look, that's 450s of the Hottie's chicken, bro. I said, look, break them down. I said, each one you break down, I said, you can get a 10 or a 20 out the joint. I said, either way, they go for $50. So I said, I just basically gave you like 850s, bro. I said, bro, look, just give me $300. That's all I want. You keep the rest. Look out for the other dudes in there you be rocking with. I said, I'm pretty sure there's some dudes over there that like the Hottie's chicken. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah. He was like, yes, sir. Good look, bro. Good look, bro. I'm like, yeah, you good. I'm like, but I'm waiting to do this. He was like, look, just in case this leave. He was like, is it more of this? I'm like, it's a little bit more. You know what I mean? I was like, let me see how it's going to play out first, though. I was like, but if they talk about more money, yeah, I got more. He was like, all right, bet. So I went on and looked out for my homeboy. So I went on and started making moves. You know what I mean? Because I got the Hottie's chicken. I went on and started making moves. So when we come back from outside rep, now Sean is up. As soon as I come back through the door, he right there waiting on. He like, his same little jump. I'm like, what's up, bro? He like, you know what I want. I'm like, I was like, what you want? He was like, come to the round table, man. Come to the round table, man. I was like, what round table? I look, I seen his roommate sitting by the table. You know, it's still kind of like this early morning wreck, so everybody ain't out gambling yet. You know what I mean? So one of the tables by his cell was empty, the 4 table joints, the 4 seats. So I see his celly sitting right there. He was like, man, come to the round table. I was like, where? He was like, over here. So I follow him. We start walking. We sit down. When I sit down, dude was like, hey, man, Ryan, man. I was like, yo, what's up, man? Wheezy. I dot him up. He was like, Sean was like, look, let me handle this. Look, this is what we gonna do. Look, he went and got on the phone while you was outside. His daddy can send $400 to wherever you want to. You want $400? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, what you want for $400 then? He was like, give me a gram. I was like, grams was going for like 6. You know what I mean? You might get doing for 8 sometime. Then if you break down the gram, you gonna make a band. You know what I mean? Like it all varies. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I was like, I'll do that. I was like, yo, Ryan, that joint a lock? He was like, huh? I was like, is it a lock? He was like, I said, what talk, bro? I said, what's up? He was like, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good, man. You got more? I was like, yeah. He was like, shh. Yes. I was like, you just ain't hear what we was talking about? He was like, you think you can get some Lala too? I was like, man, I don't know where the Lala at right now, man. All I got is this. He was like, I looked at Sean. Sean was like, I was like, all right, deal. I said, come to the cell. I went to the cell hall. I was snap. I went to the cell fast as hell. Y'all like this. I went to the cell like a track star. I did the money run. I was like this. I get to the cell. I look back. He was right behind me. I was like, damn, he had to do the money run right behind me, man. This dude right behind me, right there. I was like, what's up? I walk in the cell. He was like, hey, look, yeah, you giving that junk $400, but what's up with me? Remember I told you I got to get something out the deal? I said, bro, listen, bro, you about to get something out the deal. I said, you about to get a free G, bro, for the 400, bro. I said, what you mean? What else you want, bro? He said, a finder's fee. He said, because look, I told you it was a first time for everything. I'm going to get him to spend the bank. Yeah, what you think? Man, he said, man, I do this on the street. This is what I do on the street. I said, bro, you was getting high like that on the street? He was like, yeah. Shit, nigga. I just don't look like I get high because I've been in penitentiary a lot. Yeah, this swag up and everything. He turned into a real, Sean turned into a real plug, y'all. He was like, yeah, because I keep my weight up on the street. People don't know because I've been in penitentiary. People don't know I get high. I'm like, yo, man, look, bro, what you want then, bro? He was like, look, I'm going to get him to spend another 4 tomorrow. I said, man, ain't no way you welling, bro. Stop welling, y'all. So boom. Now he was going too far, man. Told me he going to get him to spend another 4 tomorrow. I'm like, bro, you welling, bro. Ain't no way in the world. He was like, look, let me show you something. I was like, what? He was like, he went in his pocket. He pulled out a big bowl. I was like, John, like, you supposed to put the la-la in that joint. I'm like, that's the joint you hitting out of? He was like, yeah. He was like, look, 50 block at a time. Ain't no more of that little shit. We gonna smoke like the street. Yeah. Yeah, he wanna do it? Let's do it then. I said, man, you lucky. You landed a celly that messed with the Hardee's chicken, bro. He said he didn't mess with the Hardee's chicken. I just told you it was the first time for everything. Yeah, like, it's, man, you think it, man, people locked up, ain't got nothing to do. They trying to fight the demons the best way they can, Weezy. And the Hardee's chicken is the answer sometimes. If it ain't no la-la. I'm like, man, you a wild guy, man. I was like, man, I ain't messing with no Hardee's chicken if it ain't no la-la. I don't care what you say. Like, I ain't falling for it. He was like, that's what they all say. You know how many dealers I seen turn and start messing with the Hardee's chicken on the street? I said, bro, listen, bro, I'm not those dealers, bro. I said, you was dealing with those functioning fiends like you, bro. They look like they been in the penitentiary, like, oh, don't nobody know I get high. I said, no, that never was me, bro. I said, nah, I only do the la-la. He was like, yeah, I can't argue with you. I said, yeah, you can't. You're not going to argue with me, man. He was like, well, give me my shit then. I was like, what? He was like, what you supposed to give me for that 400? I was like, man, shh. Hold on, man. I'm in the bathroom. Like, yeah, little John, like, hell, man. Like, I got to keep these people in good graces. I don't ever want to rock the boat and make shit crazy, you know what I mean? So, give it to them. My word, man, them people disappeared. They disappeared the whole night. Rest of the day, the whole night. You didn't see those guys, man. My word, man. You know when I seen Sean? When we came out for the morning wreck, the first wreck, right before outside wreck, I didn't go outside though, but that's when I seen him, man. They disappeared. When I seen him, he looked like he was up all day. He was smoking a Newport. He was like, I ain't never see Sean hit no Newport. He never smoked no blacks, nothing. I looked up, he was at the Newport. He was like, lady said, put that up or go in your cell. Because you can't smoke in the pod. You got to smoke in your cell or outside. But dude was smoking the pod. But he was just out in the open by his cell, by the table. He was like, she said, put it up or go in your cell. He was like, I looked. I seen Ryan. Ryan was sitting in the cell on the little bench. Their door was open. Ryan was like this. Ryan was looking at the TV. His head was like, he was like, Sean was like, here. Hey, Ryan, you want to hit this? You want this short? He was like, Sean said, catch. He threw it to Ryan. Ryan was like, that junk fell on his lap. He was like, he almost burnt the hole in his pants, y'all. So boom. They wild in there, man. Ryan was like, hey, why'd you freaking throw it, man? I was like, y'all wildin', man. I was like, man, I'm out here. He was like, wait. I was like, what's up? He was like, I gotta holler at you again. I'm like, man, look, what's up, man? He was like, I ain't never lied to you, right? I was like, what you mean? He was like, Ryan, come here. Ryan was like, no, I'm not coming out there. No, fuck that. Ryan said straight up, fuck that. I'm not coming out there. He was like, look, come to the cell right quick, Weezy, man. I was like, man, no, man. Hell nah. Hell nah, man. No, sir, man. He was like, look, I go to the jump. Ryan was like, look, man, I'm not coming out there. He was like, man, I don't know what that shit you got. He was like, I'm not even gonna lie. He said, one time I hit my uncle's la-la and he had hardball in there. And he was like, man, like, it felt good. He was like, but doing it now? He said, man, this just feel like I fucking took a Xanny or something, man. I'm fucking high as fuck, man. I was like, man, that's crazy. He was like, look, I'm trying to spend $300, man. He was like, look, give me $300, man. I was like, look, that 400 was good. I appreciate the 400. I was like, you sure another 3? He was like, yeah. He was like, can you give me another gram? I said, no, I can't do another gram, bro. I said, I looked out and gave you a gram. You know what I mean? I said, I can't do back-to-back grams. I said, you should have just came and said you was trying to spend 1,000. I said, you'd have spent 1,000, bro. I'd have gave you 2.5 grams. He was like, fuck, man. Why the fuck didn't you tell me that in the beginning? Now, Sean was like, how the fuck did I supposed to know what your limit was? The fuck? He was like, you smoke up all the shit, and then y'all don't know what the fuck your limit was. So they get to arguing. I'm like, look, hold on, y'all chill. I was like, look, man, look. I was like, I'll do the 3, man. He was like, no, fuck that shit. He was like, I got 5. He said, what you do for 5? I said, I'm gonna give you another gram. Shit, nigga, I'll give you another gram. Yeah, you threw an extra $1 today. I throw you, I got another gram. He was like, all right, my word. I get bro the gram. They go down that joint again. I come to the door and look. My word, they was in that junk they was getting stupid in that junk, man. They was getting super duper stupid. Like they was in that junk litty. They was getting tore up in the junk, man. And then as soon as they ran out, Sean came to me again. I'm like, this dude wildin', man. Like I know it was a first time for everything, but he just really turned this dude out, man. Like I felt bad that he turned this dude out like that, because now, dude, that's how dudes get in there. Like when they messing with that Hardee's chicken, they get to going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. They gonna go into it. It ain't no more package. That's how they do. I done seen it happen a million times, man. So these dudes is gone. You know what I mean? So Sean come to me again. Hey, look, I'm gonna let Ryan straighten his mouth like this. He like, look, I'm gonna let Ryan straighten it. I'm like, straighten what? He like, he trying to spend another 3. I'm like, nah, bro, listen, the only joint I got left, bro, is the joint. You know what I mean? He was like, what? All the money we spent, you ain't. I said, bro, listen, bro, I got business to run, bro. I can't keep giving up all the big pieces. I said, now it's good money. I said, but bro, listen, I gotta grind too, bro. I said, I gotta grind, I got an accomplishment, I gotta reach, bro. You trying to get away with my money, man? He was like, no. As I'm saying that, Ryan pulled up. Ryan was like, man, come on, Weezy, man. Come on, man, give me something else. I was like, give you something else? He told me you trying to spend another 3. He was like, no, my dad said he only got 100 for me. I was like, look, I'll give you something for 100. He was like, all right. I was like, all right, I got you, man. I was like, go take care of it right quick. Word, he hopped on the jack. Off the jack. I'm in the cell. Before I looked up, I just seen Sean at my door. I'm like the man's nigga just like peering like a jack in a box. I'm like, he just popped up on me. I'm like, what's up? He was like, give me the 100. I'm like, oh, here. He was like, he gonna give you the numbers. I'm like, I get on the joint for the 100, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, I went back in the cell. I started finished getting my stuff. I had to grab my sausages, the pickle, pause. I had to grab a couple of things, you know what I mean? I was like, let me grab my food real fast, get this straight before it get hectic in here, you know what I mean? Tighten up real fast, everything straight. My word, got down. As soon as I got down, start getting my stuff together, I walk out the cell. I hear Ryan like, man, what the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? I hear Sean was like, fuck you talking about? He was like, hey, Weezy. Ryan was like, hey, Weezy. Hey, Weezy. So I climbed and stuff. So I'm like, y'all chill. Like, what's up? He was like, here. I was like, what's, this $100? He was like, yeah. He was like, you got the stuff? I'm like, I gave it to Sean. He was like, Sean, you gave it to fucking Sean? And I'm the fucking one. I said, oh, bro, you need to chill the fuck, calm down, bro. He was like, Sean. He just walked away from, hey, Sean. Sean had disappeared. He walked all through the bar. He like, hey, Sean. He keep calling his, hey, Sean had disappeared. I looked. I seen cell 13 they had to cut up. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, Sean in there? He was like, hey, Sean. Come down. The door opened up. Sean come walking out of 13 cell. He was like, another black dude in the joint. He come walking out of the joint. He ain't do shit. He was like, white dude was like, Ryan was like, hey, man, where the hell is that shit at? He was like, what shit? He was like, man, Weezy said he gave it to Weezy. I was like, Sean, I gave it to you, man. Looked at him like, what the fuck? Sean said, man, Weezy, you ain't give me shit. I said, what? He said, you ain't give me shit. When he said that, man, Ryan was already swinging the punch. Man, this is my word. Ryan hit his ass, man. Ryan hit that nigga. Boom. But they right there in the middle of the pod fighting, man. When he hit Sean tried to recover on some high shit. They start fighting. Start rumbling like a bitch. That's my word. They fighting right there. The lady said, y'all better stop. Y'all, everybody clear. When you see people fighting in the middle of the pod, you just gotta clear. You'll see the pod clear like an ocean. Man, that's my word. Everybody start clearing. Ladies like, y'all better stop. Y'all better stop right now. I'm letting you know now. Boom! She hit that jump. Boom! Shit, man. She hit Ryan, man. She hit him like right in his back shoulder. Everything. He was like, that jump took him to the ground. Sean jumped on him. She started hitting that jump. Boom! Get off him! Boom! Sean, them jumps hitting, but they ain't knocking Sean off. Police running the jump. Dude's like, police coming to jump. This is my word. Running that jump. Tackle Sean. Boom! They get him, man. This is my word. Lock both of them up. They take both of them out the pod. I'm like, this jump crazy. They lock us down. I'm looking at the jump like, man, this jump crazy, man. My homeboy, he like, Weezy, that's your fault. I'm like, what? He was like, that's your fault, man. He was like, man, why you get Sean that Hardee's chicken? I'm like, what? He was like, no, I'm joking, bro. I was like, man, go ahead with that, man. But when I was going to my cell, though, I was just thinking like, man, like it's a sinister world, man. Like the things you do for money. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not perfect on the things I had to do in there, y'all, man. But like, I had to survive, man. I was in a dangerous world, man. So like, sometimes it be casualties like that, man. Like, it's not a good thing that Sean turned this man out on Hottie's chicken. You know what I mean? I just looked at it like I needed the money, man. So he was bringing the money. I was trying to capitalize like any other hustler, man. But he turned the man out on Hottie's chicken, man, which was crazy, man. So those dudes went to the hole. Now, it was only for a fighting charge, so they got out the hole a little bit after that, man. And I seen Ryan. They put Ryan over in 2 building. They put Sean back in 4 building. But you know what Ryan was doing when he was over there? He was messing with the Hottie's chicken again, man. My homeboy was getting the Hottie's chicken, getting all that bread, man. So that's just how it go. That's just how it go, man. Like, Sean turned him out, man. Sean said, first time for everything, goddammit. And he was right, man. But that was a crazy situation. But that's the end of the damn story, though. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all know the count, man. Please stay out the way for y'all to stay out here with y'all family and live a great life, man. Period, man. But y'all already know what to do with this one, man. Like, share, subscribe to this one, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But y'all be safe, man. And stay your ass out the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.